Good evening, everyone. This is Bears Talk Live. Welcome into American Honor Ale House. I'm Juju Phillips. I'd like to welcome our Lenoir-Rhyne crew with us tonight as we bring you the very last version of 2018, at least this year, of Bears Talk Live, as we talk a little football, basketball, and tennis over the next 30 minutes. We are glad you are aboard here at American Honor Ale House as we bring in our first guest for tonight. The head coach for Lenoir-Rhyne is Drew Cronic. And Coach, welcome into Bears Talk Live for the final edition this year. Before we talk a little football and spring practice and everything like that, I guess the first thing, get it out of the way, how's the house hunting coming along?
It's funny you asked that. I think we found one. So trying to get all the paperwork worked out right now, but excited about it. My wife is fired up to get my family up here. So, we got our house under contract back home about a week ago, back home in Greenville, and this popped up and it's going forward. So I'm excited.
Hey, I've talked to some people, Lenoir-Rhyne fans around, and they all know about the spring practice starting, but at 5:30 in the morning. Kind of give us the thinking behind why 5:30 a.m. practice.
Honestly, it was the only time I could get everybody in the program there for 2 hours. Just with class goes, some guys have 8 o'clock classes, sometimes in the afternoon, labs and those kind of things. So I wanted to make sure that we were able to have 15 days of practice where I could have everybody in the program there the whole time for 2 hours and really be able to work to get better. So it's not, ideal, obviously, but we're getting up and we're going to work, and of course you get it behind you and you move on to the rest of the day, and hopefully you can go to bed by 9 o'clock at night and keep everybody out of trouble in the evening. So it's been great. The kids have done a good job. Very few guys they've been on time, they've been there ready to go, and they're working to get better. So it's been good.
They say this is the time of the year when championships are won. You lay the foundation with spring practice. And I read a quote the other day, getting the right seats filled on the bus for the upcoming season. When you look at spring practice, what have you learned about your new football team so far?
Well, really right now it's more about them learning, new schemes and all those things. But I've learned this. We got good kids in our program, and they wanna do well. They're working hard. They've had a great attitude. You're really trying to see what you have and, finding out who can play certain positions. And we've moved some guys around. You experiment a little bit. But really with this first spring, it's about learning how we want to practice. We're a tempo team, so learning how to go out there and practice, and see who fits where. And it gives us a little better idea as we go, into the fall, how any new guys can come in and maybe where we have needs at. But the kids have done a great job.
I saw the scrimmage on Saturday, or the practice, and then the little mini scrimmage. What did you see out of that first scrimmage that you like for this team?
Well, it's so hard to say. We're learning so much. I mean, there's sometimes you walk off the field feeling really bad. Like, I'm an offensive guy, so sometimes I walk off the field feeling really bad about the offense. And then I go watch the film, and it's just one guy here or one missed assignment there. When you're learning, it's hard to really know until you go back and watch the film. Then other days, we might have some success offensively, but then when I go back and watch the film, the defense was in the wrong place. So they didn't do what they were supposed to, so that's the reason we had success. So it's really trying to get 11 guys on each side of the ball where they're supposed to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing. And, when you're installing like we are and putting in new things, today we installed a couple new runs and a couple new passes, and it was wild as it could be on offense. We were, guys were going the wrong way and messing up. But tomorrow we won't install. We'll be able to continue learning the same thing we did this morning, so they'll have a better feel. They watched the film this afternoon, so they'll be a little bit better at it tomorrow. So it's just really trying to take steps forward and learning our system and learning how to step, learning how to put our hat in the right place, learning how to fill a gap on defense, learning what we're doing and how to do it.
You talked about, and a couple of times I've heard you speak about building the right culture. Mm-hmm. On the football field now, that's a little bit about what you're talking about.
Sure.
You're evaluating and learning your players and installing all at the same time.
Right. Culture is the most important thing right now. It is, we got to lay the foundation, the groundwork for our program. And that is more about how we do things, being there every day, being consistent, being on time. And then the way we want to practice, which if you saw our practice, we're going with some pretty good tempo. A lot of people said then in practice, man, y'all practice really fast, and I wasn't pleased with the tempo. We got to go faster. So it's just learning how we do things. And building the culture is what's going to eventually help us to win over the long haul.
We were looking and watching the practice, and obviously the first position everybody looks at is at quarterback. Mm-hmm. And the Bears had, I guess, 4 quarterbacks out there taking snaps during the practice and during the scrimmage. You're bringing in, I think, 3 quarterbacks. That's 7 total. Right now, and I know it's so early, but right now, the kind of middle of the spring football, how does the quarterback position look to you?
Well, I think we have some kids in our program now that can win games for us. You know, Grayson Willingham's really doing well. All those kids have done a good job. They're learning. Their heads are spinning right now. I mean, as much as any position on the football field, they have got so much information that they have to absorb. But when I look at those guys, they're getting better. I mean, it's, you know, we're going to be okay. And then we're going to get help from some guys that are coming in. But I've been pleased with the way those guys have practiced. They've had a good attitude. Each one of them brings some different things to the table. So we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And we're going to keep trying to recruit to replace the way good programs run their program. We're always going to try to recruit to out-recruit what we already have. That's going to be the case 1 year from now and 5 years from now. You know, we're always trying to recruit better than what we have. If we're doing that, it's always going to be competitive, and we're always going to be improving our program.
Are you going to try between now and the start of next year to tweak the roster a little bit and maybe add some recruits down the line?
You're always looking to do that. You're always looking to see if there's a piece, if there's a need you have. You're looking for, maybe there's a transfer who needs another opportunity, or there's one more high school guy still available. There's still some kids out there. Really, at this point, it's about evaluating if there's a certain need we have, and if we can fill it with one of those type things, a transfer or a high school kid who's still available, maybe that got his grades up a little bit at the end or something like that. You're always looking for that. So we're always keeping our eyes open for that.
I guess you have another scrimmage on Saturday, and then the spring practice or the spring game is set for the 10th. Between now and even the spring game, what are some of the things that you as a staff are going to be looking for from this team to improve on?
Just overall understanding of what we're doing and how to do it, you know, and really every day we're pretty old school. If we got our pads on, we're doing some scrimmaging, you know. So Saturday was, you know, a lot like tomorrow's morning's going to be, what you saw tomorrow morning. And really by the time you get to the last scrimmage, what we're saying is our, you know, quote-unquote spring game, hopefully we got enough bodies left to go out there and compete for a while. We won't have enough guys to split up into 2 teams and do all that, but we're going to get out there and play some ball, you know, and finish up practice the right way. So it's really about continuing to see, you know, if I'm watching a right tackle, is he taking that step with his left foot better each day? Is he taking his reach step better each day? If it's a quarterback, is he going through his progressions a little bit better each day? Is he learning and where he's understanding, so he's not having to think so much about, you know, what his assignment is, but how to react to the defense. You're just trying to move forward all the time where you get more and more comfortable and the kids are executing better. That's really what this is about, is trying to learn how to execute.
You talked about a little bit at the little deal we had a week or so back nearby here, and you talked about the program, and I guess some of the people ask about the offense. Mm-hmm. You spoke about it. Describe the offense that Bear fans are going to see in the fall.
Well, I don't want to say too much, yeah. But you know, it should have tempo. It should be different. It's kind of got some roots in the old Delaware wing tee. Kind of meets Oregon and Auburn a little bit. So it should create some of the same issues that the double slide offense does, but it's different. So you know, hopefully you'll be out of breath at the end of a game after watching it. But we want a lot of different guys to touch the ball. We want to be balanced. You know, with our run game and our pass game. And hopefully you see a team that plays hard and executes and gets better as the game goes on. That's what we want to be as a team who in the fourth quarter we figure out ways to win those close games instead of finding ways, you know, to get beat in those situations.
Sometimes if you wear out the other team, they'll make cowards of us all, I guess, when you get really tired.
You know, enough fatigue will do it. So hopefully we're not the ones tired. Hopefully it's them. So we've got a ways to go to get there, but our kids sure are buying in.
I've been impressed that in a short time you've been able, and the staff, put together a recruiting class of over 40 kids. Talk about how that was like and how you guys hit the ground running.
Well, I tell you, the best thing I've done so far is who I've hired. All right, my guys hit the ground running, and they've been recruiting. We got guys from a lot of different places that have a lot of different contacts. Our staff, from a recruiting standpoint, has been amazing, and they're still doing it. They're still looking for kids. So it's really been the staff. I mean, I've just kind of turned them loose and let them go find kids, and we'll get them on the screen. We'll evaluate them. We go find out from the high school coach what kind of kid they are, what the grades are. We want to get, the two questions we ask are, can we win the conference with this kid, and is he gonna improve our culture, not take away from it? And that's, I think we've been able to find some pieces. Till you get them here, you don't really know, but on paper, you feel like I feel like our coaches have done an unbelievable job identifying guys and then getting them on campus. And this place is a nice place. It's not a hard sell, and so I think we're going to bring in some good kids.
I've noticed too that you've gotten guys that are productive in high school. A lot of them come from not only winning programs, maybe even the state championship or a state runner-up team, and a lot of the kids have just stellar grade point averages. All that together, that's a pretty good mix.
And that's how you build culture, is those kind of kids. You need enough talent, but you need kids who are going to develop over their 4 years, who are going to be there every day, who you can count on to pass their classes, and who are going to love each other and totally pour into what we're doing. So that's how you build.
Have you had a chance to look at the Bears' schedule next year yet?
A little bit, yep.
Pretty tough schedule, starting off with West Alabama. Can you give us a little bit of a preview of what you know so far?
Well, I mean, they were obviously very, very good last year. They have lost some guys, but that conference, the Gulf South is an outstanding conference week in and week out. So we'll find out, pretty quick how we measure up. But we're gonna we'll go show up and play as hard as we can and put a good game plan together. And you never know. If you just go play well, give yourself a chance. Don't turn the ball over. Stop the run, do the little things right. We'll see what happens.
You'll look on the tape on the opponents, sometime this summer, right?
Yeah, we'll start trying to get some preliminary game plans together for some of the teams we're going to play. Right now, though, the most important thing is us. If we control us, if we're the very best we can be, those are the things we need to worry about. And I want our kids to believe that no matter who we're playing, if we show up and do what we're supposed to do and play how we're supposed to play and play LR Bear football, we're going to have a chance to win games.
Coach, good luck this rest of this off season. If you call it an off season, and good luck at the spring game. We'll be talking to you between now and then.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining us tonight, head coach Drew Cronic. Fans, let's give him a hand joining us tonight. Bears Talk. Again, the Bears practicing tomorrow morning at 5:30. Fans want to come on out and watch right under the lights.
Come on. You're all welcome.
All right. Thanks, Coach Cronic. As we go from football, we'll transition now into basketball and the South Atlantic Conference Tournament. Men and women open up tomorrow, and for Lenoir-Rhyne, the men open up on the road. And with me right now is the head coach for the Bears, Everick Sullivan. Coach, welcome, and you get ready for the second season starting tomorrow.
Yes. March Madness early for Division II, but we're excited. Very happy about getting ready to play the first round, being in the conference tournament, having our seniors. I think two of our guys. Well, at least 4 or 5 of our guys are playing the second time in the conference tournament, and that's a big deal. And we want to go make some noise.
Bears are seeded number 7 in the league, and the team they're playing is the second seed, and that is Queens. They are been in the top 10 most of, and not all year. They were number 2 last week, and I think they fell to 5 or 6, something like that.
Yeah.
After their loss.
You're
playing a top 10 team coming up. You played them pretty well earlier this year.
Yeah,
is that something that you try to relate to the kids?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of ways you can try to use the psychology piece. Can you beat a team 3 times in a row? That's always something we talk about. I think we played a game, almost like if you put the 2 games together, we probably played 40 minutes of really good basketball. If we took segments from each game. So the guys are excited because it's not a team that's going to overwhelm us with strength or so much athleticism. They're just a very efficient offensive team, good athletes. So it's not a bad matchup. We just feel like if we can go in there and sustain our play for 40 minutes toward that last 3 or 4 minutes of the game, if we're in a position to win that game, then that's what we're shooting for at the end of the day.
When you talk about postseason basketball, playoff basketball, tournament basketball, what are some of the keys that any team that wants to win and survive and advance and all those terms, what are some of the things that your team is going to have to do to move on?
Well, I relate, tournament games where you get a chance. There's not many times where you play college basketball and you get to play against number 1 in the country and the nation, number 2 in the nation, number 5 in the nation. So anytime you have a chance to do that, much less in the tournament, it's a special opportunity. There's really no pressure on you because everybody that's looking assumes that the number 2 or the higher seed should win. So, for example, I'm at Georgia State. We play Baylor in the first round of the NCAA tournament. There's no pressure on us. The longer the game goes, the closer we stuck, the more we hung around, the tighter they got. And at the end, it ended up being a buzzer beater, and we get the win. So that's the philosophy, is don't go in trying to win the game in the first 2 or 3 minutes. Just stay poised, play together, but we got to have our players make plays. You got to make free throws and do a lot of the little things. But at the end of the day, you want to put yourself in a position to win the game. Don't lose the game in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game.
When you talk about the Bears this year, and you said about defensive stops and being good, playing good defense and good rebounding, I noticed a couple of things that you were also very good at is did not turn the ball over. I think you maybe led the conference in the least amount of turnovers. And defensively, around the three-point arc, the Bears are one of the top defensive teams in the league.
We have a lot of plus pieces to what we are and who we are defensively and offensively. They just don't all come together at the same time. So when we guard very well, sometimes we don't shoot it very well. When we shoot it very well, sometimes we have a game that we don't guard very well. So it's very inconsistent, which is very typical of a team that's, 9 newcomers going on the road, having to win, going through a very tough. The SAC is, we talked about it. It's the ACC of Division II basketball. So we're playing a team that could very well be in the Final Four of the Division II tournament on the national level. So we've seen those guys before. So we're much more prepared. Our mentality is a lot more confident about who we are and what we're trying to do. But we're going to guard the ball. My MO as a coach has always been you always have a chance to win the game when you can take care of the basketball. So last year we only turned it over 12 times a game. I think this year we're right at 15.
The Bears lost, I think, by 7 at Queens earlier and not too long ago. What did you do well in that game that you liked, and with a chance maybe to win that game? What are you going to take from that to try to apply tomorrow night?
We're going to dictate tempo, control tempo, play on our terms, and make smart decisions, put the ball in our best playmakers' hands and allow them to make plays for others. A little bit of change and surprise. I can't tell you. But we're gonna do some things that maybe keep them off balance and keep them guessing, keep them out of rhythm. They're a rhythm team. They make a couple threes. They feel great about themselves. So we got to guard the arc. They got an all-conference player in Todd Withers. Ike Agassi, the point guard, is playing really well. He had 21 against LMU. So we know those guys are feeling good about themselves. So we got to make sure we keep an eye on them. But at the end of the day, guard that three-point line, contest every shot, and rebound the basketball.
When you look at close and get to the tournament, half-court offense, execution in the half-court, especially in the last few minutes of a basketball game, that's got to be key as well.
Yeah, it's so funny because even my days of playing the NCAA tournament, you can be this up-and-down team, but for some reason in tournament play, almost like in NBA, it becomes a half-court game at some point. And that's where you got to execute. You got to have great decision makers. You got to have guys who can make shots because sometimes you're playing in arenas that you're not comfortable with or you're not accustomed to. So decision making is key. Poise. I'm not turning that ball over, but executing, setting good screens, getting paint touches. Anytime you get a paint touch, good things happen. So we want to get the ball inside, get the ball back outside for quality shots.
I smell an upset maybe tomorrow night.
I like it.
Start of the new month, March Madness, as you said, Coach. Good luck in the South Atlantic Conference tournament. Let's shock the world tomorrow night.
That's what we're planning to do. Thank you.
All right, so the Bears traveling to Queens. Head coach Everick Sullivan, the Bears, and the women also are on the road. They play nationally ranked Carson Newman in the first round of the South Atlantic Conference tournament, the quarterfinals there. We're going to switch up and go a little outdoors now and talk a little tennis with the head coach of Lenoir-Rhyne's tennis teams, Tom Rees. Coach Rees, welcome back to Bears Talk. We haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you. Congratulations, both the men and the women, off to pretty good starts. Talk about it.
Yeah, we've come out firing. We're having some fun. It's been a good journey so far. We've done a lot of good things on the court. I think the key to the season so far has just been, going for it and having no fear, no preconceptions, just getting after it, playing the LR way, and so far so good.
This is the second time you've joined us on Bears Talk. The first time you told us about your history. Tell us again, for some of the newer fans that are watching tonight, how did you come to Lenoir-Rhyne and a little bit about your background?
Yeah, I came to the States about a decade ago, played for the UNCA Bulldogs just up the mountains there. I'm in my 6th year of college coaching. I did a couple of years at North Georgia. I worked for Kim Pate for 2 years at Illinois Springfield, and then followed her down here almost 2 years ago now, which seems to have flown by. But we love Hickory. My wife and I bought a house here, so we're enjoying the journey.
So since the Bears have been an NCAA team, a program in tennis, men's tennis, they have never had a winning season until you came along, until last year. And you're off to a good start this year, 5-2. Before we get to the women's side, let's talk about the men and what you're happy with the way they've started out so far.
Yeah, well, we're in a unique situation with the men's team where we've brought back the whole squad from last year. So this year we have a year of experience and 9 guys who are really brought into the culture and everything that LR Tennis stands for. Last year we had a winning season. I think we moved up a couple spots in conference and finished the highest they've ever finished, but those are relatively minor things in the grand scheme of what we're hoping to achieve here. But I think we have a great group of guys who are really working hard to continue to put LR Tennis on the map.
Have not played a conference tennis match yet. What's the conference shape up to be this year?
On the men's side, we got 11 teams in the conference. I would say probably 9 could win it. We're in the mix, one of the 9, but like you said, we're 0-0 in conference, so we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves at this point. Belmont Abbey on Thursday, and one match at a time.
And over on the women's side, you guys are undefeated. Talk about the team thus far, what they have done to get to this point.
Yeah, the women have made tremendous strides in the past 8-9 months or so. We came out at the beginning of this year and took down Young Harris 5-4. Young Harris is a team that's always in the NCAAs. They beat us 9-0 last year. So our women are starting to realize some of the potential that they have. They're starting to embody that in everything that they do. And I think really the sky is the limit for this program.
And again, for the women's side, the South Atlantic Conference, and how you finished last year, and what's the league look like this year?
Yeah, we had a couple 5-4 losses last year, which I think we finished 9th last year. The women have set some pretty lofty goals for themselves, but at the moment we're just focusing on Belmont Abbey on Thursday, and when we look ahead to the conference, Mars Hill, March 9th, let's get that one out of the way, and we'll know a little bit more then.
All right, Coach Tom Rees. Coach, thank you. Thanks, you
Juju.
for joining us. Good luck the rest of the way. Men's and women's tennis in good hands with head coach Rees. And folks, that'll wrap it up for Bears Talk once again. Thank you for joining us all season long. Thanks to Aaron, Athletic Director Kim Pate, Brent helping out as the executive producer. All season long, all the fans that have come out and joined us each and every week. Wednesdays during the football season and on Tuesdays during basketball. That'll wrap it up. Hope to see you back here again in August, maybe late August, early September for a second year edition of Bears Talk Live. For everyone here at American Honor Ale House, I'm Juju Phillips. Go Bears. So long, everyone.